I put the call out to the whole city. I said, people, I need to talk to Bilal. He's on 90 Day Fiancé, the brand new season, and he's from the town.
I was like, I'm getting all kind of messages like, man, like they want you on the show. And I'm like, they want me? They want me? What?
We've got a lot to talk about here. I've seen the show. Have we ever met before?
I don't think so, but I feel like I know you. I feel like you're family.
I probably am. Down the line somewhere.
Down the line somewhere, yeah.
My Uncle Kabir is a imam, so it could be somehow, some way.
Well, I'm an imam as well.
Oh, really? Okay. Let me find out.
You probably heard her voice on The Wiz, too, man. She was singing on that joint.
I was not born when The Wiz was... whatever. Anyway, Bilal, let's talk about the show. First of all, how did you get on this thing?
My fiance, she heard about the show when we were going through the process of just really like trying to do the visa that took forever to do. And as we were going through that process because of COVID, it was initial process supposed to take 6 months, but COVID extended it almost to 2 years. And while we were going through that process, she heard of it from her sister and told me about it. And I was like, absolutely not. And actually, I used to travel up. I'm a real estate investor and speaker, realtor, and I would travel like every weekend doing conferences and speaking. And one weekend, I just ended up binge watching it on the airplane, and I watched it, and I was just like, yeah, I'm definitely not doing this. And like most women, you end up getting what you want, and so I ended up submitting, and here we are.
For those of you who don't know, 90 Day Fiancé, the premise is that you meet someone who lives internationally. They've only been communicating via telephone or chat in some cases, but you had an opportunity to go visit her in her home country of Trinidad. Upon meeting her, what was it that made Shaeeda the one that you wanted to go through this process with?
It was a couple of people before her, but things just didn't pan out, because there was other long-distance relationships that I've had from other people from other states. And when it came to, like, moving to Kansas City, the job or whatever, things couldn't allow me to do that. And I wasn't moving because I had 2 children. So long story short, she ended up DMing me. We were, like, friends for a number of years, and she ended up me expressing interest. So I was immediately kind of like, she seems cool, but, man, she lives in a whole other country. And I just started to think about, like, who is to say that the person you're meant to be with has to live in the same city as you, same state, or even the same country?
My mother.
So I'm
sorry.
Right. Okay. Besides your brother, right? No. So I was just like, let me give it a try, and and things worked out, and I was like, okay, she's cool. However, I gotta see this person in real life. In order for me to really take this seriously, flying out to Trinidad and visiting her, met her whole family, and like she's very family oriented, and we decided to take that huge step. In our faith and our religion, marriage is something that's very important, something sacred, where it's 50% of our religion, and so it's something I've always, seen myself wanting to, get married again. We started that process.
I've been engaged since Juneteenth of 2021.
What's taking so long? 21?
Yeah. Yeah, more than 90 days for me, fam. What is the biggest lesson you've learned in being engaged?
Oh, man. When they want something, they want it now. And the emotions that goes along with it, where I'm the type of person, I'm a very logical thinker. I think about things like backwards, forwards, and sideways before I usually react, where it tends not to be that way a lot of times with some women, and both on a positive note and also sometimes not so. So those are some of the things that you're also going to see on the show as well.
We're talking to Bilal from 90 Day Fiancé, which airs Sundays at 7 p.m. Central on TLC. Where you from, homie?
I went to Central High School, graduated there. I grew up in 60s off of Cleveland. And so you hear me use a term on 90 Day, hood bougie, where, it's just a term that we use in our American community. It doesn't mean like, hey, you could be from the hood, you could be from the inner city, but doesn't necessarily mean that, like, your mindset can be that of success and that of class and that of wanting better opportunities. And it could be also a little high maintenance as well, too.
When I put the call out that we wanted to talk with you, one of the things that the women were talking about is that there are many Muslim women in Kansas City. Why did you have to go out of town to find your woman?
I wouldn't say I had to. It was just that was what came my way. I was in different other like relationships and talking to different people, throughout a couple of years, and certain things just didn't pan out, So it wasn't like I was searching or seeking somebody from another country. It was actually the exact opposite. I literally was like, nah, I'm not trying to talk to somebody from another country. Also, you don't know what a person's intentions is either. It was like this magnetic force that kind of just drew us together,
I like to think that some of the little things really make a big difference in a relationship. Like, one for me is temperature in the house. If it ain't right with me, then I can't get with you. What are some of the smallest yet biggest disagreements that you've had with your fiance?
Oh man, there's a lot. You'll see on the show, you hear the term OCD, which is something I don't use often anymore or use at all, because I've been told that that's not a good term to use as an adjective. But I'm a neat freak, so I like certain things a certain kind of way. The remote has its spot where it's supposed to go. Those little quirks, water and stuff like that is left like purposely on the counter on the floor, like that irks the heck out of me. So you're going to see some of those things that really kind of get under my skin. We have our food battles as well. I love Caribbean. I'm a foodie. I love different types of food, but she's only used to one type of food. And I'm like, hey, like, open your palate to different stuff, and she had that mentality to think that because we're Americans, we only like season our food with salt and pepper. I'm like, first of all, we're black. Like, like all black people, like we season food, so, so I'm trying to, engage her in our culture as well, soul food and just different other ethnicity type food as well, too. So you're going to see some of that battle.
This played out in the first 2 episodes. You tried to test Shaeeda's loyalty to you by bringing her to your modest childhood home, I'm assuming in the 60s, and picked her up in a van. Did you get the answers that you were looking for in this test? And were you expecting the reaction that many have had on social media with this test?
I definitely was not expecting that reaction, for sure. I'm not getting murdered right now. So here's the thing. I'm a prankster. I'm a practical joker. And she is, too. Like, we both like to joke with each other. I don't take myself seriously. I take what I do seriously. I'm a realtor and, and working with clients, et cetera. So, but myself, I don't take serious. Now, it actually was a continuation of a practical joke she played on me. So when I went to Trinidad, I was asking about Airbnb spots, where should I stay? She had me stay in like one of the worst crime-infested hood areas ever. And it was like barbed wire fencing and everything. And I'm like, okay, you like to play jokes. We laughed about it. And I was just like, hey, I'm going to pay you back. One time we were like on our little date night, long distance, our Netflix and chill type moment. Lo and behold, we watched one of our favorite movies, Coming to America. And I was like, let me think about doing something like that. So, yeah, it was a little bit of a test, but more of a prank, but also had sentimental reasons as well, too, because my father, he passed away before she got a chance to come there. And the van that I actually picked her up in was his van, one of his work vans. And the house is a house they still own. He didn't want anybody to touch, but he really used it as a storage house, and he built it with his bare hands. So it was a lot of sentimental reasons to take her there, beyond also just the prank and all that stuff. So it was multiple different reasons and all that. And she used to rag on me, like, about my car, even though she never seen it, because I would take my car to the shop sometimes to get made. And she's like, you need to get a different car. Matter of fact, you need a truck, because real men drive trucks here in Trinidad. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to one-up you. I'm going to bring a van, and I'm going to pick you up in it. I'm thinking that to myself. So it was a lot of that aspect. But also, she always talked about, like, hey, I'll be willing to live with you in a tent and, and roll up my sleeves and help whatever with, et cetera. So it's like, are you just saying that, or are you true about that? So it wasn't just I'm a tester. In hindsight, it probably wasn't the best prank, but it was a lot of different reasons what made me want to do that.
Another thing people were asking was, what is her house like in Trinidad, since she was so appalled by your dad's house?
Oh, that's a great question. Because where she had me staying at was so far away from her house, like literally quite a bit away, I didn't get a chance to see her house. I did visit relatives of hers. Like, they lived in a modest, decent house. Some of the relatives that I did visit that were closer to the area where I was at, but I didn't get a chance to actually see her house directly. in person.
See that house, fam. Get up in there.
I heard they married, though. I don't know, Brian. That's what I heard. I read that on one of the sites. They said they got married on the low in December.
You read blogs?
Yes, I did. Well, it's not true?
I would say this, is that you can't always believe what you read. You know, you got to do your research and all that. But, you know, watch the show, watch things play out. And, now, we would say that we did our nikah, which is, we kind of talked about what that is in the show as well. So, because we both, we practice where we don't do sort of before marriage.
Yeah, they're not supposed to be dating. Muslims get set up and then you go get married. There is no dating, and
our aspect is not a dating aspect. It's of we
a path to marriage. Yeah,
man and wife under our Islamic law. And it's not for reasons just like, oh, well, you can be with that woman or be with that man. No, like when you do that, you take on the responsibility. So from the day we did that, the day is the day I took responsibility for her and maintain her, protect it, provide it, and all those things. And it never stopped.
Okay, well, you got to bring her out in the town so we can see y'all. Guess not.
Well,
Hey, I question, Bilal. Was you at the epic Central Raytown basketball game with Derek Hood and Tyronn Lue?
Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to go to that game. Man, I wish I did.
Yeah.
I've been to a lot of other Derek Hood, games. He was a class above me.
We're going to check out Bilal Hazziez on 90 Day Fiancé. Thank you so much for joining us on the Morning Grind with Shay Shyne. We're going to call you back for an update, fam.
Yeah, for sure. Y'all can contact me, BilalHazziez.com. I'm right here, local in the city. I'm a realtor here. You guys looking for any, buy a home, sell a home.
Get the plug in. I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
What's your Instagram? I'm going to follow you right fast.
Instagram is Bilal Hazziez.
Okay. All right. There you have it.
Have a good one, dog.
I appreciate you guys. Don't be too mad at me about the prank.
I was with you. I said, yes, you should ask that. My father's from Panama, so I know when you come from other countries and stuff, you got to vet this stuff. But, that's a conversation for another day.
No, you don't know everybody's intentions.
You don't. That's dead serious, but, whatever.
Man, you should see the messages and the death threats. Like, geez, Louise. I'm like, people, chill out.